Hi, I'm Shwetha Bhatia, registered dietitian with the Indian Dietetic Association and the founder at Mind Your Fitness. In this session, I'm going to address the most common myths and questions that people usually have about weight loss. This applies to obese children as well. Parents need to be educated on how to identify and manage their child's increasing weight without compromising on their growth and development. So starting with the first point, let's talk about body weight. Now we should focus on dropping body fat than just dropping body weight. We need to preserve our muscle when we are on a weight loss plan. Losing muscle will cause the skin to sag even more. For that we need weight training and adequate protein which matches the workout. The most important part is weight maintenance. Now for that we cannot put an expiry date on our diet. It is a lifestyle change, not a short-term goal. The second point is about counting calories. Now, all calories are not the same. For example, 1 cup of cooked white rice and 1 cup of milk may have the same calories, but they behave differently in the body after digestion. Rice, being a processed grain, gets digested faster and it releases more glucose than milk, which contains more protein. So the composition of your meal is more important than just counting calories. Third point, they say eat everything you want in moderation and still lose weight. Now well, if you eat a little bit of everything, it may or may not help you to lose weight, but it will definitely deprive your body of the basic nutrients it needs to function. Imagine you need 50 grams of protein daily. Now you replace eggs at breakfast for say half a dosa or pav bhaji instead. This exchange means that you get lesser protein in terms of quality and quantity. Now the protein from the eggs may have assisted the repair processes of your tissues and cells and muscles, while the dosa and the pav bhaji may add up to the fat reserves because they are carbs, and that is not what the body needed at that time. It could be in excess. So nutrients matter in terms of their quality, quantity and timing. Fourth point, coming to protein. Now men need 60 grams per day and women need about 50 grams. It depends upon the stage of growth and development, especially for children, physical activity levels, your current health condition and many other factors. An athlete may need far more protein than a person who does not work out. We should opt for first class proteins, which means that from dairy products if you are a vegetarian, and non-vegetarian foods if you are a non-vegetarian. Fifth point, are carbs bad? Now all cereals, pulses, fruits, juices, milk, starchy vegetables like potatoes, sugar which we add to our tea, coffee, finally get converted into glucose or fructose if it's coming from fruit. When we measure blood glucose, we cannot identify the source, whether it came from dal or rice. If it's in excess, it gets stored as fat. Now glucose spikes insulin and insulin stores fat, so we need to restrict these foods if we want to cut down on our body fat. Sixth point is about fasting. Is it healthy? Now with fasting and eating fewer meals, we can reduce our insulin spikes and allow the fat to burn. But we have to meet our daily requirements that allow us, give us the energy to function and exercise as well. Lots of people do extended fast and then they do not exercise enough. Fasting definitely helps in breaking weight loss plateaus. What about breakfast? Now they say it is the most important meal, but there is no such thing if you can get used to eating within an 8-hour window of your choice. So 16-hour fast is the most practical window in terms of my experience with clients, which is very doable. Now coming to specific foods that are known to burn fat. So what about warm water with lemon? That's a myth. Apple cider vinegar, cinnamon and coffee, yes, to a certain extent they do help. What about healthy snacks? Now you should make protein, fiber and fat combinations like cheese, yogurt, eggs, vegetables, sticks, salad, soup, nuts and seeds as your snacks or fillers. Then we talk about eating and then burning it later with exercise. Now calories from the diet and those burned during exercise do not cancel each other. When you exercise, the treadmill may show calorie output which is programmed. Your body may burn fewer or lesser calories. So you just can't eat what you want and then burn it off in exercise. If the treadmill shows 300 calories burned, at the end of 1 hour at the speed of say 5 kilometers an hour, These calories are coming from carbs, protein and fat. But when you eat junk food of say 300 calories or 300 calories, it would largely be stored as fat. So they do not cancel each other. 10 points about exercise. Now it should be a combination of cardio, which is skipping, jogging, swimming, weight training like squats, lunges, deadlifts and flexibility work like yoga. An exercise program is a prescription. It should be structured according to your health goals and your current conditioning levels. So if you have a back or knee issue, you should be avoiding a few exercises. Also, doing too many reps is like cardio. So, and too much of cardio breaks muscle down. I usually recommend exercise on an empty stomach, but you should do it whenever you find it convenient. There is another myth about doing 1000 crunches a day to lose tummy fat. That's again a waste of time because spot reduction does not work. Progressive exercise and maintaining your muscle mass will help you break your plateaus and move up. So an expert should be planning your exercise program. Coming to sleep. Now the quality and quantity is extremely important. If you are sleep deprived and are under constant stress, the body will not burn fat as it keeps the stress hormone cortisol high. What about belly fat? Now let's understand the difference between subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Subcutaneous means under the skin. It can be pinched and it is found in any region of your body depending upon your genetic tendency to store fat in that area. It's often referred to as stubborn fat, and it may be a little hard to lose if you have a tendency to store fat in those regions, for example on your belly. Now in terms of risk factors for diseases, excess subcutaneous, which means the fat sitting under the skin, is not as harmful as excess visceral fat. We'll come to that in a little while. Liposuction targets this region, the one under the skin, but that also needs to be maintained with diet and exercise after the procedure. Visceral fat, on the other hand, is out of our reach. It is in our abdominal cavity where it cushions the spaces between our organs. It pumps out chemicals called as cytokines, and that can increase the risk of your heart disease and other diseases. But the good news is that the visceral fat responds to your diet and exercise quickly. So you can get rid of that harmful fat fast. And lastly, what about bariatric surgery? Now it is to be considered for those who have serious health issues and cannot exercise. Your doctor will be the best judge. He will decide whether you should be going for surgery or not. But remember that your habits need to be changed whatever procedure you do. So one has to be disciplined even after the surgery. I hope that this talk was helpful, and with this we come to the end of our session. See you again next time.